Hello and welcome back to Mysti-Fi, your go-to destination for mystery sci-fi movie recaps. Today we're diving into a movie called Split. Before we begin, I want to remind you that this video may contain spoilers. Without further ado, let's head straight to the story. Casey is sitting in a restaurant. Claire's father and Marcia talk about her. Later, they all go to the parking lot. The girls sit inside the car. Someone approaches Claire's father. Someone gets in the car and it's not Claire's father but a stranger. He sprays sleeping gas on the girls and kidnaps them. The girls wake up in an unfamiliar room. The man enters the room with a chair. He sits for a moment then drags Marcia out of the room. After a while, the door opens and he throws Marcia in and leaves. Casey begins to remember her past, where her father and her Uncle John are having lunch with her as a child in a restaurant. Uncle John is telling them a story about a wild animal and how he got frightened. Claire tells the girls that the only way out is to attack him together, but Casey refuses as they don't know what they're dealing with just yet. Casey remembers her past with her father in the woods, talking about hunting. Dr. Karen watches the news about the girls' abduction. She checks her email and sees a message from Barry, telling her he needs to see her. The man, whose name is Barry, goes to Dr. Karen's house. She looks at some sketches he has made. Dr. Karen tells him that the sketches are good and she asks if something has happened because usually he is very protective about his sketches but today, he is flaunting them. Barry tells her that he just wanted to visit her and he'll meet her again next week. He leaves but Dr. Karen seems concerned. Claire and Marcia are peeking through a hole in the door and they hear Dennis talking to a lady. They start shouting for help so the lady rushes through the door but it is actually just Dennis in a woman's dress. Dr. Karen meets one of her colleagues to talk about DID or dissociative identity disorder. Dennis enters the room with a bucket and a bathroom cleaner and asks them to clean the bathroom. He tells them that Patricia has reminded her that they have been brought here for a reason and that they are sacred food. The girls wake up and see Dennis sitting at the door and calls himself Hedwig, a 9-year-old boy. He tells them someone evil is coming, who will hurt them. Casey calls Hedwig closer and tells him that the evil man is coming here for him as well and he should help them get out of here. Hedwig runs out of the room. Casey realizes that Hedwig said something about making the room safe. They immediately start searching the room. Claire finds a hollow spot in the ceiling and starts breaking it. Hedwig hears the noise and tries to open the door but fails. He asks them to stop. Hedwig changes to Dennis and opens the door easily though Claire sneaks out through the ventilating duct and hides. Dennis follows her and manages to catch her. He then locks her in a separate room. Dr. Karen is giving a lecture at a seminar via a video call. She talks about how different personalities within a same person can change habits and body language. That this is the ultimate gateway to all things unknown about human boundaries. Barry visits Dr. Karen. As they talk, she asks him if she is talking to Barry or Dennis. Barry leaves the session after denying that he is Dennis. Patricia brings Casey some food. She combs her hair and puts a flower. She invites Casey and Marcia for a proper meal in her kitchen. As Patricia prepares their meal, Marcia gestures at Casey to run away through the kitchen door but Casey doesn't respond. Marcia decides to act, picks up a chair and slams it on Patricia and runs away. Patricia asks Casey to go to her room and lock the door. Marcia can't run away as all the doors are locked. Patricia finds her and locks her in a different room. When she opens her eyes, Hedwig is lying next to her. He tells her about the beast and that he is coming. He tells her that he likes dancing to his CD player near a window. Casey thinks it's a chance to escape so she asks him to take her there and he reluctantly agrees. Barry is sitting in a session with Dr. Karen. She thinks that after an incident, Dennis took control so that he can keep everybody safe. She again asks him if she is talking to Dennis. Dennis appears and tells her that he just wants to protect Kevin. Dr. Karen asks him about the beast, but Kevin denies the beast's existence, saying it is just a fantasy to scare the other personalities. Hedwig takes Casey to his room and shows her his CD player. He starts dancing to music and asks Casey to dance with him. Casey asks him about the window that he was talking about. He shows her a drawing of a window hanging on the wall. Hedwig realizes that the reason she was asking about the window is so she can sneak out. Hedwig shows her a walkie and she uses it to call for help. Someone answers but doesn't believe her. Patricia emerges and escorts Casey to her room. Dennis emerges saying tonight is the sacred night. Casey remembers her Uncle John in the jungle where they play as animals. In another flashback, a young Casey is holding a shotgun aimed at Uncle John. She loads the gun but he snatches the gun from her. Dr. Karen receives several emails from Barry, so she decides to pay him a visit. Dennis is about to leave the premises where he lives, but Dr. Karen appears and tells her that one of the others had just emailed her. She tells her that she doesn't want anybody to get hurt, so Dennis invites her into his home. Once inside, Dennis tells her that he lied about the existence of the beast and says that the beast was actually on the move. Dr. Karen asks him what eating of the pure young means. He tells her about the beast, and the horde, which are all the entities combined. Dr. Karen gets frightened and tells him to continue to session later so that she can take notes, and asks to use the washroom. She goes to the basement where she finds one of the girls locked in the room. Dennis grabs Dr. Karen and sprays sleeping gas on her. He then goes to a railway station. He gets on the empty train and reveals his 24th personality, the Beast, a quick and strong entity. Claire asks Marcia through the walls to see if anything useful is in her room. Marcia finds a hanger which she uses to unlock the door. Casey tries to look for an exit, only to see a computer. She opens a folder on the desktop that has different personalities of Kevin. During one of the recordings she notices Barry taking a set of keys hanging beneath a cap, which happens to be right behind her. She takes the keys and runs. Dr. Karen wakes up in a daze. She manages to write something on a paper when the beast appears. He grabs Dr. Karen. She tries to stab him with a knife but it breaks. He thanks her for revealing his full potential and kills her. Casey finds Marcia lying dead on the floor half-eaten. She goes to the next room and finds Claire alive, but the beast pulls Claire away. Casey sees that the beast is eating her alive. She runs to Dennis's room and finds that he has killed the doctor as well. The beast enters the room. Casey looks at the paper which has his birth name. She starts repeating it, Kevin Wendell Crumb, which is the full birth name of Kevin, until the beast drops to the floor, seemingly restored to the normal Kevin. Kevin is unaware of what happened and finds Dr. Karen dead on the floor and asks who did this. She replies he did. He tells her that he was just sitting on the bus and that he doesn't remember anything after that. He tells her about the shotgun kept behind a shelf and asks her to kill him. Suddenly, Dennis appears to stop her and says Kevin cannot handle reality as all the personalities start appearing. Patricia appears and tells Casey that Kevin is long asleep now and he will not come back again as she starts turning into the beast again. Casey runs out of the room and finds the bullets in a shelf. She tries to escape but the beast grabs her legs. She somehow manages to sneak out but her leg gets badly hurt. Casey limps through a corridor which leads to a dead end. She locks herself in a cage and fires at the beast. Barely affected, the beast bends the bars of the cage with his bare hands. Casey has nowhere to go. The beast suddenly stops, after seeing all the old scars on Casey's body from her abusive childhood. He tells her that she is different from the others, her heart is pure as the broken are more evolved. He eventually leaves her and runs away. A man finds Casey still in the cage. He takes her to the zoo office and asks the others to call the police. Casey is sitting in a police car, when a female officer tells her that her uncle has come to take her home. Casey gives the officer a very strange, unhappy look. Kevin is in an old abandoned house where he has a conversation with all the other personalities. They tell each other that they will show the world how powerful the horde can become. The Beast is quickly all over the news. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new release. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.